Telecommunications and Information Technology, Mr. Ashwini Vaishnaw, who is in Davos as we speak, has pushed back after the IMF chief had described India as a second-tier AI power. Mr. Vaishnaw pushed back against these claims, saying that the classification on the part of the IMF might be wrong. He also pointed out that Stanford places India at third place in the world for AI preparedness. And of course, he's also talked about India's AI push and how democratization of technology will in fact propel India to the top ranks as far as AI preparedness is concerned. Let's listen into what Mr. Vaishnaw said at Davos.
Fastest growing major economy in the world, an AI player, but clearly in the second grouping that Kristalina is talking about, have to think about alignments with the United States or China to a degree, but how much do you have to think about that as a country like India? How much can you chart your own course irrespective of what the Americans and Chinese are doing?
Actually, clearly in the first group, and the reason for that is there are 5 layers in the AI architecture: the application layer, the model layer, the chip layer, the infra layer, and the energy layer. We are working on all the 5 layers, making very good progress in all the 5 layers. On the application layer, we will probably be the biggest supplier of services to the world. Go to an enterprise, understand the business of enterprise, understand the working of that enterprise, and provide that service using AI applications. That's going to be the biggest factor of success or successful deployment of AI, because that's where ROI comes from. ROI doesn't come from creating a very large model. 95% of the work can happen with models which are 20 billion or 50 billion parameters. We are creating a bouquet of such models. We already have a bouquet of such models which are now being deployed in multiple sectors to increase the productivity, to increase the efficiency, to increase the effective use of technology. So our focus is very much on making sure that AI diffusion happens in a very big way. And I don't know what the IMF criteria has been, but Stanford places India as third in terms of AI penetration, in terms of AI preparedness, and in terms of AI talent. All the 3, actually on AI talent it is number 2. So I don't think your classification in the second bouquet is right. It's actually in the first.
Fastest growing major economy in the world.
Well, my colleagues Hina Gambhir as well as Rishabh will provide us a perspective on what actually transpired there at Davos. Hina, if you could just put things for us in context, because the IMF MD, Kristalina Georgieva, who originally hails from Bulgaria, well, she was part of that panel as well. And Ashwini Vaishnaw's comments were made in response to initial remarks that had been made by the IMF MD about India's AI preparedness, referring to India as a second-tier power when it comes to AI. What was she trying to say, and what was Mr. Ashwini Vaishnaw's response? Can you give us a bit of context about these remarks?
Yes, so Siddharth, as far as AI is concerned, there is a race among countries that we are witnessing. After ChatGPT, we had China quickly coming out with DeepSeek, and that raised questions on India's capabilities as far as artificial intelligence is concerned. Now, there was this narrative that was being created that perhaps India is far behind because we've not been able to create a name in the AI space. We've not been able to really bring out something like what ChatGPT is in America, what DeepSeek is in China. And as a result, the IMF chief actually, when was having this panel discussion wherein we had Union Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw also present, she said she referred to India as a second-tier AI power, as if India isn't doing enough when it comes to AI preparedness, because the next era is going to be, dominated by artificial intelligence, to which Ashwini Vaishnaw, the Union Minister, made it absolutely clear that don't look at narratives really, look at hard facts. Sure. And the hard fact that he cited was actually a global AI index that's by Stanford, report that actually puts India at number 3 in AI preparedness. Then he also gave us the reasons how, as far as AI architecture is concerned, and how prepared India is really to be a part of this revolution. It's taking steps that, the world not be able to see right now.
Thanks a lot for that perspective, Hina. He's put the record straight and said that India belongs to the first tier of nations and not the second tier when it comes to AI preparedness, responding to the comments made by the IMF MD. Thanks, Hina.